So, welcome to Raising the Cane. Yes, it's been a while since we had the full ensemble. There's Maurice joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear okay?
Yes, I can.
Sank in, yes. It's been a while. So, anyway, Sandra's gonna be joining us in a moment. And so how you doing in your neck of the woods? We're not in RTK Studios. It's going under serious renovations right now.
Yes. Well, we have to keep pace with the other podcasters and media moguls. So there's a massive investment in upgrading the Raising the Cane Studios, I understand. And I thought we were seeking some investment from Jeff Bezos, but I understand that he's putting some of his extra money in Blue Origin and making sure that William Shatner gets back to Mother Earth safely.
Yes,
I don't know how I would live without Captain Kirk in my life.
Yeah, that was a great show, even though this podcast isn't about that. But we have to make special note. Yeah, it's work because it's just happened recently, 90 years old. And it's a good thing, like William Shatner said, Captain Kirk, we should call him Captain Kirk.
Yes.
Unfortunately, has been on the defensive with one of his former colleagues and also the Prince of Wales, Prince Williams, who both should just stay out of it and shut up.
Exactly. You expect difficulty from the Klingons or the Romulan Star Empire, but from fellow Earthlings, particularly former co-star George Takei, aka Sulu, with whom he has feuded for the last 50-some years for various reasons relating to the show itself and preferences and dating behavior.
Yeah, so I was disappointed that people are making this a negative and still harping on the fact that Jeff Bezos is how he's spending his money. He didn't. No one's donated or he didn't have to ask permission for anyone to do what he's doing, as well as the other billionaires. We kind of touched on this on a previous podcast about billionaires in space, and so. You know what? It's not my money. It's not taxpayer money. So shut up. Of course, everyone has a right to an opinion, but at the end of the day, what did you contribute?
Right. And what Raising the Cane is all about is people achieving their own autonomy, making decisions, being productive members of society, but not being beholden to other person's own aspirations or bitterness or disappointment with how they are developing their own lives. And Bezos, Branson, and Musk, the billionaire boys space club, have done remarkable good in ordering and establishing their businesses. I mean, Branson, of course, obviously aviation primarily. Bezos, founder of Amazon, which had lowly beginnings as a garage-based bookstore that operated online. And
Sandra just joined us. Thank you.
Sandra.
Good morning.
Hey. Good morning.
And Musk, who co-founded PayPal and is known for Tesla, Solar City, and some other developments. And he's straight out of South Africa. So all three men and other billionaires, millionaires, and even people who are operating on a lower scale philanthropically are contributing to society, whether it's through their own private sector entrepreneurial endeavors or in being inventive, and I think challenging others to push the boundaries, whether you're going beyond the Kármán boundary and in a suborbital pathway around our blue and green globe, or whether you're doing something inventive when it comes to transportation. Yeah. So I say 3 cheers for the 3 billionaires.
That's true. Yeah. Sandra, anything to comment on that?
I do believe that what they're doing is to open the gates for the future. And although they could be doing something else for the humanity, but you have to remember that everything that we have achieved as a society so far, it took men like them to take risks and to be able to go against the current, to be able to move into progress. So I think that although some people may be thinking, okay, we should have that money for poor people, but there's a lot of money in this world, a lot of people that could do, you know, activities or donate part of their millions that they have to assist in society. So to me, this is, you know, it's controversial, but I do believe that it was good to move forward into the progress for humanity.
And you know, it's ironically the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty today.
Oh,
Okay. So did you know? Did you know that?
You know
I
that?
didn't know that.
yeah, I
It's
did it.
also, it's
Eradication of
also,
poverty.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's also
yeah,
Four Prunes Day.
okay. That's Dr. Knowledge speaking.
That's
He
right.
has his own podcast segment dealing with facts and trivia. And
I love them. I love them
yeah,
because there's a lot of things that you saw in when you were studying history, but it's like a long time ago. So I think that it's excellent, Maurice. I love that the facts of history, facts, and all of that information that you provided. I believe that the generations will enjoy that, to know part of history.
Thank you. And you know, and some of these events actually happened even before Michael was born.
yeah, thank you.
That-
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, 2, 3, 4, 500 years ago. We assume that. Yeah. You're older, so I have 5 less steps closer to the grave than you do. So
oh,
wow.
that
Oh,
escalated.
okay.
That escalated. Wow. And that he he's bringing down hellfire.
Okay, okay. We're going to transition into the topic of the day. It's online dating,
Oh,
and relationship in general. And online dating is the vehicle of choice now. But let me take you back down memory lane. Before we were born, traditionally, it was obviously pre-internet. People were dating pre-internet, pre whatever you call even baby boomer, thousands of years ago. So, but we're going to talk about 20th century. Traditionally, there's two individuals who want to, one wants to get together with the other. And so traditionally, it was the male who took the lead and went to the parents' home of their intended target
yeah.
and asked
Exactly.
permission if they could date. And that answer was yes or no. And if it was no, obviously you could sneak around, do whatever you want, and others complied. And then the methods involved, or the tactics, I'd rather say, were maybe a blind date of a mutual friend who says, hey, let me hook you up with someone I know, a great guy, great gal. And then other avenues could be school or church, some religious events, sporting events. However you met the other person of your dreams. And then there was some kind of cycle where you dated and et cetera, moved on, either tied the knot or moved to someone else. And then other avenues were introduced, like nightclubs, bars, maybe even strip joints.
Oh.
Whatever. I mean, I call that bottom fishing. Probably got a hater on that one right now.
That's right.
I met my significant other at a porno place. Okay, well, if it works for you, or a nightclub and bars, and which lends toward more casual relationships, if you know what I mean when I say casual. And so
What do you mean? I don't
they just
understand.
want sex.
I
They
don't
just
understand.
Yeah, we said raising the K with attitude. Just they want sex. They don't want no. I don't. Thank you. What's your name again?
But is that wrong?
That's a hey. That's up to each person. I don't care personally. So
I think that right and wrong is in the eye of the beholder. The way that you were raised, the way the culture. In some countries, and you will say it, if you want the future mother of your kids, you need to find it in a refined, in a way that you will have them be proud of who they are. So I think that, especially for if I will have my son and I will be talking to him, I will say, you need to be very careful where you find people. Not to diminish any woman out there, but you have to ensure that that it is something that is not going to scar your soul and your life. Whatever you do, you have to be convicted in what you're doing, but at the same time, you have to remember that you're a role model, and ultimately you will be the one that will change the world, because you are the person who will be instilling in your kids what they should be in the future. At least that's how I believe a mother should be. Now the father is as well. I mean, are you going to be showing your kids that a place to go is the joint or a street bar to secure the future? So it is a lot weight in a father figure as well, because men obviously will look for the dad figure. What is my dad doing? Because my dad is my hero. And the same is for ladies. And I say ladies, meaning that it's okay to have fun. It is okay to enjoy an experience come by you living life, but you have to have some protocols. You have to be able to know what you really want in your life. So I think that you have to be very careful in the way that you're going to meet people. You have to ensure that if you're going to go, like we were talking about the internet, it's entire ball game. It's like an ocean with so many fish out there that you don't know whether you're cutting a fish or a
shark.
Or
shark. Oh, yes.
How about a piranha?
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
So yeah, you know what? And no offense, probably will offense. You can find your future mate or someone that you're compatible with in any place, any location, regardless of if it's the red light district or, it's at the, in Beverly Hills at a swanky restaurant. So,
or comic book convention.
A comic book convention. Yeah, the LA Com is coming to Los Angeles convention. We'll be there. Raising the Cane will be there in December, informally.
Look at my shirt. Plastic Man.
Plastic Man. That's right. Okay. So anyway, back on topic. So the internet came upon us and was commercialized and gave rise to online dating, which is the subject here. And let me say, not to be remiss in mentioning, there were other matchmaking services pre-internet that people went in there and some computer selected, or a person reviewed profiles and made decisions for you, like a dating consultant. And those still exist, by the way. And so those were around way before the internet. And so now what challenged them was Match.com and eHarmony. The two elephants in the room here. And Match.com, in our discussion, I'm gonna give you some facts and figures that Match controls pretty much 90%, or maybe even more, of the top online dating apps, which are probably over 1,500 of them, and the companies that are controlled by Match.com. I used to be a former owner of Match.com. I sold that stock, by the way.
Full disclosure. Full disclosure.
And so anyway, online dating, it was a stigma. Say, any respectable person doesn't meet someone that they're serious about on the internet. And so it had that stigma, and that stigma is pretty much, I think, gone away now.
I
And
think
then
so.
also the safety factor, well, you're going to be hooking up with a serial killer, a rapist, a psychopath. We may already have those around us already. We don't need to add to it.
But what if you're the one who's the serial killer?
And well, good for you then. I mean, you know, not good for you.
Yeah, that
So-
to be, I mean,
So
there are a lot of those out there
Yeah,
that
so
looking
there-
for a prey.
yeah, and so you have to
Yeah.
still be careful, despite all the technology to ensure your safety. There's still psychos out there, psychopaths and crazy folks. Oh, someone got offended. You calling me crazy? Someone that's going to harm other people, then yeah, you are most likely. And so people that aren't wrapped too tight, that want to hurt other people, you got to be careful on these online dating. But let's get to the facts.
So what if you're a part of the sadomasochistic
So,
subculture and your intent is to find someone to hurt you?
well, we're not going to give them a platform today on that. We just have to avoid that the best we can and use the filters. And when you're going to meet someone for the first time, go and do it in a public place, you know, not 101 in Griffith Park somewhere at 10 p.m. or go to someone's hotel room you don't know. That's maybe kind of stupid. Okay. So, but anyway, so we have two camps here. The Match.com, which is traditional, was known as traditional. Now they own a lot of other services we'll get to. And then you have eHarmony, which is meant for more serious folks to date to marry. For a long time, indefinite relationship gave rise to eHarmony. And so then you have your group again that goes from casual dating, which is just going out for sex, to just dating for companionship or friends, and nothing beyond that per se.
Like
So
Tinder,
yeah.
for example.
yeah, Tinder is the elephant in the room. That's still the biggest. No one has knocked them off their perch. Tinder
And
is
Grindr.
still number one, but we're going to go through it. And so let me give you some stats. There's over 40 million people in the United States. We're only talking United States that are used online dating, and 52.4, probably over that because these are little dated. 52. These are current, but you know, as they accumulate data, 52.4% are men, which is, we understood men would probably have more vested interest in online dating. 47.6% are women. And so the numbers are large, and like Maurice was saying, Tinder is that's the elephant in the room, and it was meant for more traditional dating people. So just chime in, and then let me just rattle some off. Hinge, Bumble's a new one. Actually, one of the founders of Tinder helped create Bumble, which was in partnership with Andrea Andreev, who's a Russian entrepreneur who created Badu, who has pretty much failed to enter the United States in any meaningful way. It's basically Europe and South America, my understanding. And you have Grindr, and then I think that's more focused for the LGBTQ crowd. And then
That's right.
Tantan, which is Chinese, is the Chinese version of Tinder, and Plenty of Fish, and OkCupid. It goes on, mostly controlled by Match.com. And then you have traditional Match, and the revenues are hovering over $3 billion, the latest figure of 2020, $3 billion.
Wow. With that, I could go into space by myself. I don't need Bezos.
Yeah. So,
I'll take Sulu up with me.
so users, global dating app users, and we're dealing with apps, global from 2020 is 270 million people.
Wow.
So we're dealing with huge figures, and they project it just to keep growing. Now, the pandemic helped fuel more of this. It was already moving forward, but I would think the pandemic situation caused more people to use more online dating, which I believe the facts support it.
Yes.
So what do you guys think about online dating? Despite the cons we mentioned about dangerous and have to protect yourself, but just using it as a forum to meet other people.
Well, the danger adds to the excitement and unpredictability. But having said that, it's just another means of connecting with people. You might have in past generations been one of the members of a prospective couple introduced by your parents or your house of worship. And obviously in cultures around the world historically, as well as today in the Indian subcontinent, you have arranged betrothals and matrimony. And the European monarchs of the past would intermarry with the sons and daughters of other kings and queens, emperors and empresses in order to establish political, military, diplomatic alliances. So what you have here, it basically just takes into account existing technologies that had their roots in DARPA and UCLA, which developed the internet before it reached the rest of us, partly through the World Wide Web and commercialization. So I think that connecting with other individuals, whether by face-to-face introduction or by going to clubs or meeting them through alumni associations or through the various .com points of connection, I think it's perfectly viable, especially with most of us of a certain age spending 80 to 90% of the day working either remotely or in an office, factory, or retail environment, and you don't have that much opportunity to proceed in the traditional mode of courtship. So I think that with everyone now having exposure to a desktop, laptop, tablet, or smartphone, it just makes perfect sense to maximize your time with the keyboard at your disposal to fulfill a fundamental need that all of us really have for intimate companionship and the prospect of weeks, months, years, or a lifetime together.
That's true. And another fact is with eHarmony, since they focus on the long term and the marriage, I was looking up the stats. They have a 3.86 couples that have met on eHarmony have a divorce rate of 3.86. That's pretty good.
That's very good. That's
Pretty
excellent.
good. That means, and I know they have an extensive questionnaire you fill out and other things that to screen and filter people out. So they're doing a great job with a small divorce rate of less than
Yeah.
4%
Yeah.
in the general population. What is closer to 50%, if not more.
In fact, they need to leverage that more in their promotional advertising.
Mhm.
Right. And in terms of usage, we're looking at Grinder. More people are on Grinder, even though Tinder is the elephant and eHarmony, but 935 minutes. And then Meet Me 207 minutes. So this is the length of time they're on each month. Match 154 minutes. You have to do the math yourself to equate that to hours. Plenty of Fish 119 minutes. Hinge 108 minutes. OK Cupid 106 minutes. Tinder 78 minutes. So Tinder is losing some ground as far as how long people are engaged on the app itself. But they have the bulk. They have a majority of the app. You know, they have the biggest number of folks using it system, but as far as staying on it and being engaged in the moment on their app, they lost some ground there, but they're still the behemoth though.
Market share is never permanent. Once upon a time, BlackBerry had 80% of the cell phone market. Where are they now?
Right, they're pretty much gone. So Sandra, what do you think about from the female perspective?
You know, I'm a little bit leery about, uh, you know, matching that way. However, like you said, there's some people that have been successful. I know that Tinder was at one point viewed as the, you know, the one day stand internet method to meet people. There were a lot of, I heard that there were a lot of married men or women that they just wanted, you know, a day to just go out. So some were a lot of, I heard as well that there were some people that they were trying to get money. So basically send me some money, you know, I'm in trouble after talking for about a month. And so scams.
Right.
That's what I
Right.
heard about that one. So I think that whoever adventures into this, they have to be able to analyze, like your analysis that you provided as to the different methods out there or platforms that are out there. Some you have to pay. And I think that it will be, if you really want to, you know, a successful dating, you know, I think that it will be good to pay if you really want to do it that way.
Yeah.
So that way will not be, you're not gonna be one of those that will be a target for scams or, and another thing is you have this method of Zoom. Make sure that before you go out, meet the person, do some background check.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that are out there that you have to be secure of the person who you're going to be able to, because anybody can lie in any questionnaire. So make sure you investigate. Again, background check. Everything that you can do to determine what kind of individual is the one that you're going to be dating. And make sure you do it in a public place where there's a lot of people. Tell someone where you're going, at what time you're going to be there, and set a time that you're going to be back home so that, and somebody will be checking your phones. Yeah, so you have to be able to take any measures to protect yourself.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish.
Oh, that's what I was gonna end, is that there's a lot of people out there that are there to get you. You know, this is we see it right now. Scams calling constantly on my phone. We have people now that are going into crypto, and there's people already scamming on that. So there's opportunities that would like to go ahead and see what they can get out of people. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, that's good. And that gives rise to this segment of this conversation, that 53%, according to eHarmony, 53% of the people, they did a study, 53% of the people lie on their profile. 53%.
53%.
Over
So that's
half.
the majority.
53%. And let me give you reasons. And I'm getting stats from compare.com as well as businessofapps.com, and why people lie on online dating apps. 35% is for fun. They're just lying for the hell of it. So these are the kind of people you want to meet, really, just for the fun of it.
The pranksters.
Yeah, 25%. 25% afraid of blackmail or fraud. So they kind of don't tell you the real name, or don't tell you, oh, I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, but they're really in New Mexico or something. 16% to appear more interesting. You know, don't be somebody you're not. Be you. And if anyone don't like you, they're not for you. You get that?
Right.
If they don't like you for who you are, not that we can't make improvements in ourselves, lose weight, maybe get taller, right? Grow taller.
There you go. There you go.
And
Get some of those,
by the way, the things they lie about is height and weight are the two biggest one, and age and job and how much income they make. And
that's a lot.
So
That's
let me tell you guys, and I know primarily it's you lying about your income. I'm gonna talk to you for a moment. I know most of you are men. I know men. I have the same equipment that you do, and I understand This is
You
Oh,
went
most
there.
and so
Uh-oh.
well, most of you. I'll say most of you are the same. And so,
Uh-oh.
but you know, we want to impress someone and flashy this, flashy that, and some ladies too. You're involved in this too, to make it appear that you earn more than you do to impress someone. But at the end of the day, folks, the credit card is going to get maxed out. You can only get so many personal loans to take people just to a restaurant or buy a fancy car.
That's true.
But you know, and so it's gonna catch up with you, all the lies and
That's
deception.
why you should learn to cook.
Yeah, learn to cook. And how about just tell the truth? Now,
yes.
Uh-oh. He
now,
went there.
now, true. Perhaps you need to stay in your lane too. I hate to use that expression, but I can't think of a better one, where you already know somebody is used to Gucci, Coach, and all them other Spago, you know, these expensive things. You already know that's their circle. Don't go in a circle you can't participate in, because if financially, uh, you know, you can only play around with that so much until it's going to catch up, and then you're going to really be interested in a person. Then you got to cover up the lie on top of the lie. Then they're going to realize you're lying. And you watch these in movies. All the romantic comedies do this, by the way. They do the setup. And so 15% says avoid being recognized by friends. That's why they lie. Really?
Okay.
If your friend is on the same site using it, what you embarrassed for? They're on it too.
Maybe you
Right.
connect with your friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Cut out the
So,
middleman.
so yeah, cut out the minute. And 5% avoid lie because they avoid being recognized by current partner. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So
Like the
that's what
pina
Sandra
colada
was saying.
song.
You know what? You know one company we didn't mention that Sandra was talking about those who already could married or significant others. Ashley Madison.
Oh yeah.
There, yeah, Ashley. So for those who didn't know it, Ashley Madison gave rise to those who want to have an affair by being the gateway to people that are married to hook up on the side through ashleymadison.com. And so, you know, so a lot of people are using that. And
Yeah.
so, you know, to be secretive. And so, you know, you got to do the right things, folks. But hey, it's your life. Hey, you got to run how you run. So, but a lot of people online are lying, and about, again, their job. What do you do for a living? You know, be proud. We all started from a more humble beginnings. If you're a washer, I did that, and someone don't like it, and they have the nose popped up, say, oh, okay, you're not for me. Then you're not for that person.
Exactly.
Don't pretend that you're the owner of the restaurant instead of the waiter, the maitre d', you know, the trash guy. Somebody has to do those occupations, and there's nothing wrong with those occupations.
We shop regularly at Dollar General.
Right, 99-cent store. You know what? Say, I saw you at 99-cent store. Well, I saw you too. You saw me and I saw you.
In
So
fact,
move on.
if I really want to splurge, I'll go to the 99-cent store.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll go to
So
town.
so anyway,
I got $10.
yeah. So anyway,
So
we're
Maurice, we lost your image. I don't know if you know it, but
Maurice is gone. Maurice is hiding under the table. It was
Oh,
too much for him. This conversation was too much for him. It was too much.
It got too real.
It was too real. He didn't want you to see. He was tearing up. So there he is.
It got too real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah. He went back to the space. We all beamed down.
I'm at Dollar General, so I had to
So raises.
pay the cashier.
So anyway, it was a topic, and one added stat: 27% more young people are jumping on board, up for 10% from 2013. So more of the younger people are attempting to secure a significant other through these online dating apps, and so we need to wrap this session up. So, any closing comments on this subject, RTK crew?
I
Well-
will say I'm sorry.
I'm
Just
sorry.
be careful if you're gonna do that again, take precautions. Make sure you investigate the platform. Make sure to determine exactly what do you want. Do you wanna just somebody just to talk, somebody just for, not just temporarily, basically. But you need to be careful, extremely careful. As I mentioned before, do your scanning, determine exactly, who do you want to meet. Know that for a fact that, at the beginning, they just want to impress you. So you need to dig deep to determine exactly what you want from that individual and be upfront. Like Michael was saying, don't establish a relationship on lies on the person who you're not. Make sure that you be who you are. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Sandra. Maurice, you only got 15 seconds.
15 seconds. Well, I have 15 hours worth of material, but
Hurry up. You just used 3 seconds now.
oh, you live all my time. But basically, like Sandra had said earlier in this particular edition of the podcast, take your precautions, meet in a public place, inform others of your whereabouts and your estimated time of return to your domicile, and exercise appropriate awareness of the red flags that are sometimes subtle in the demeanor or body language, or even some of the verbalized commentary of people that you meet, because sometimes there's those giveaways. People aren't always capable of censoring themselves and being consistent in their deceit. And you sometimes give yourself away. In fact, there's a memoir written by the late Lacey Peterson's mother about her former son-in-law, Scott, who of course was convicted and sentenced to death for murdering Lacey and their unborn child. In the memoir, the mother-in-law notes that after one of the late night searches for the missing daughter, Scott allowed one of the people assisting to put that person's jacket on a chair inside the Peterson home. And immediately the mother-in-law realized her daughter wasn't coming home because Scott killed her, because Lacey didn't like anybody putting his or her jacket, coat, or other apparel on one of her chairs in the dining room. So the mother-in-law clued in. Scott knows that they're not going to find Lacey. She's not coming back home.
Okay.
So recognize the red flags. Now that was easier for her because she had that prior experience with her daughter and son-in-law, but your common sense will sometimes trigger. Gavin Becker, a security expert, has written books about recognizing that intuition, which really is rationality operating on a different plane where it may not be articulated in formal stanzas and paragraphs, but it's a warning device. Not unlike, but not as developed as Spider-Man's spider sense.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you. And so in closing, just you heard some great wisdom here by the RTK crew, and just pretend and do the things. If it wasn't internet dating, what would you do? Would you just give someone over your bank account number? Or you would buy a house for them or a car just knowing them, or go out to an isolated location, you don't even know this person. So you just got to use common sense. I don't care how good they look and attractive they are.
even if they look like me.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Don't be a fool, and use your wisdom.
Can I say one more thing?
At Maurice, we got to go. But yes, real quick.
The first appearance of Plastic Man was Police Comics issue #1 that was published August 1941. And Plastic Man's real name is Eel O'Brien. He was a former criminal before he became a superhero who is capable of stretching every part of his body and even some limited shape-shifting. And he's been a member of the Justice League of America. And he dates.
Yeah, okay. So what you're saying is Plastic Man used the online dating app.
And he was a criminal.
And he was a criminal.
He was a criminal.
That's what he's saying.
He became a good guy.
So.
And he had a son. who fought crime too.
Well, that's Dr. Knowledge. Did you know? So there you go. Facts and trivia. Well, thank you for that. And thank you, Sandra, Maurice. It's been a good one. We're calling it, until next time, raising the cane.
Hey.
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo.
Woo, woo.